crying after a day of this, and I said, well, I think this is pornography. And he said, no, this is art.
Jerry Hall, the legendary supermodel who once made the world bow down, has finally spoken out about her 22-year love story. Two people from completely different worlds collided in a moment no one could have predicted, opening a romance both passionate and chaotic that lasted for more than 2 decades. Let's uncover the truth behind what seemed like a fairy tale marriage, where love and fame collided, leaving wounds that would never heal. In the mid-1970s, the entertainment world saw one of the most fateful encounters in music and fashion. Jerry Hall, a supermodel from Texas, was at the height of her career. She was the face of top designers, a symbol of sensuality and sophistication. Mick Jagger, the British rock star, was electrifying crowds during the Rolling Stones tours. In 1976, Jerry was in her early 20s and engaged to Bryan Ferry, the lead singer of Roxy Music, who helped her enter British high society. Mick, already a global icon, was divorcing Bianca Jagger. They met at a party in New York, filled with the elite of music, fashion, and media. Jerry's appearance instantly drew Mick's attention. He approached her that night and talked endlessly, even in Bryan Ferry's presence. Jerry later recalled that Bryan knew what was happening, as Mick made no effort to hide his fascination. That first look created a magnetic pull between two people born to live in the spotlight. At the time, Jerry was still with Bryan, but their relationship soon weakened. Ferry was calm and traditional, while Mick was a storm of passion. The contrast pulled Jerry into a new world of music parties and constant travel. In 1977, she left Bryan to be with Mick. The media erupted with headlines like "The American Supermodel Conquers the Rolling Stones Legend." The British press called them the golden couple, symbols of freedom and glamour. At first, they were swept away by love and adventure. Mick often took Jerry on tour from Paris and New York to London and Tokyo. Everywhere they went, cameras captured them hand in hand. Jerry became the woman beside the most famous rock legend, appearing in music videos and photo shoots, embodying the glamorous image of a rock star's partner in the 1980s. Their love was radiant but turbulent. They broke up and reunited several times. Mick was known for his affairs, and Jerry believed their bond was stronger than the rest. She stayed by his side through his chaotic years, thinking love could change him. After nearly 13 years, they decided to marry. On November 21, 1990, in Ubud, Bali, they held a Hindu ceremony under the guidance of a local priest. Both wore traditional attire and offered flowers and rice. The ceremony lasted for hours amid the tropical forest and candlelight. The world saw it as a fairy tale wedding, a union of Western modernity and Eastern mystique. Though later ruled invalid under British and Indonesian law, Jerry believed it was the happiest day of her life. Afterward, they entered what seemed their most blissful time. The couple had 4 children, Elizabeth, James, Georgia May, and Gabriel, raised in fame and comfort. They lived between Richmond, Paris, and New York. Jerry left the runway to focus on motherhood, but remained a style icon. Mick continued touring with his wife and children, often in the front row. In public, they were seen as one of entertainment's most powerful families. Magazines were filled with photos of Jerry in elegant gowns and Mick in sleek suits, walking red carpets together. They were regular guests at Studio 54, mingling with Andy Warhol, Grace Jones, and David Bowie. Many viewed them as the perfect blend of fashion and rock elegance and rebellion. Beneath the glamour, differences grew. Mick stayed restless, absorbed in his tours and indulgences. Jerry began to feel the loneliness behind the camera, flashes and cheers. Love remained, but trust began to erode. She stayed quiet, holding on to family as the anchor she believed could steady him. By the early 1990s, the press still called them Britain's model family. Their children thrived in art, music, and fashion. Georgia May became a top model like her mother. Elizabeth and James entered film and music production. Jerry said her greatest joy was seeing my children grow up, surrounded by love, no matter how stormy the world outside might be. Then cracks widened. Distance became unavoidable. Mick kept touring, and Jerry felt left behind. She later admitted his actions with other women were pretty bad, and that was the only thing that annoyed me. The remark was brief, but it marked the beginning of the end of one of the most famous love stories in music and fashion. Jerry Hall's Confessions. After giving birth to her third child, Georgia May, in 1992, Jerry believed the baby would change Mick. She thought fatherhood to 4 children would make him value home more. But shortly after, European tabloids spread rumors that Mick was seeing French model and singer Carla Bruni, then rising as Paris's new fashion muse. Bruni appeared at several parties and Rolling Stones tours, something Jerry could no longer ignore. Jerry once shared in an interview that she felt physically sick when she discovered Mick met Carla just one day after she gave birth. That statement revealed the deep pain she had hidden for years. To the public, they were still the golden couple, but inside their luxurious Richmond home, Jerry battled loneliness, being both a mother and the perfect wife protecting Mick's image. During that time, Jerry repeatedly chose silence. She believed in forgiveness and hoped love could make Mick change. But his recklessness had become second nature. Mick's flings gradually turned into public stories hunted by the press. Jerry once confessed that in the early 1980s, during one of their rough patches, she had an affair with businessman Robert Sangster as an act of defiance. "I once had a relationship with Robert Sangster, and Mick begged me to come back. I thought he would change, but he never did." That confession carried no bitterness, only the resignation of a woman who had tried everything, even hurting herself, to save her relationship. Between 1990 and 1994, unconfirmed rumors about Carla Bruni left deep scars. Jerry stayed silent for her children, still smiling beside Mick on red carpets. Behind the glamour, she suffered insomnia, anxiety, and quiet depression. While Mick toured endlessly, she managed their home alone. In 1998, everything collapsed. Mick met Brazilian model Luciana Morad, whose affair with him soon became public. When news broke that she was pregnant, Jerry hoped it was false. DNA tests proved otherwise. Their long, turbulent marriage ended as the truth could no longer be denied. The revelation sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. The image of a perfect family collapsed overnight. Jerry filed for divorce in early 1999, ending a 22-year relationship. She made no scenes, no revenge, only requested custody of her children and a portion of assets for stability. The legal battle became complicated when Mick claimed the Bali wedding held no legal value. He argued that their 1990 Hindu ceremony wasn't recognized under British law, meaning their marriage had never officially existed. The British court later agreed with this argument. The Bali ceremony was declared invalid, though Mick still paid Jerry an out-of-court settlement estimated at $15 million USD and granted her custody of the children. The ruling divided public opinion. Some said Jerry deserved protection after years of devotion. Others saw it as the inevitable consequence of entering Mick's world. For Jerry, money was never the goal. Leaving the courtroom, she said briefly, "Divorce is always horrible because you feel you've failed." That was her third confession, and perhaps the most poignant one, expressing the exhaustion of a woman who gave her youth to a love that left nothing but emptiness. After the divorce, Jerry nearly vanished from public life. Friends recalled that she withdrew from the spotlight, spending time at home with her children and avoiding appearances. She once revealed that it was the hardest period of her life, not because of financial loss, but because she lost faith in the man she thought would walk beside her forever. The final images of them together, a thin Jerry in a black dress at a 1997 Rolling Stones album launch, standing meters away from Mick, became a symbol of the coldness in what once seemed a golden marriage. Still, what stood out was that Jerry never spoke ill of Mick with venom. She acknowledged him as a good father who loved his children, but as a man who could never belong to one woman. In an interview years later, she reflected on that marriage with calmness. "Without those years, I wouldn't have understood the true value of freedom." That statement showed she had learned to accept, not to regret. Looking back at the 1990–1999 period, it was the most tumultuous decade of Jerry Hall's life. From the height of fame, she plunged into betrayal and loss. After years of endurance, Jerry Hall chose to end it and begin anew. The rebirth of a woman once worn down by love, but never defeated. Rebirth after heartbreak. After the tumultuous divorce from Mick Jagger, Jerry Hall withdrew from the spotlight, living quietly with her 4 children in Richmond, London. She avoided bitterness or public conflict, determined to raise her children in peace. That restraint marked the beginning of a new chapter for a woman once labeled the victim of a rock legend. In the early 2000s, Jerry returned to the arts not as a model, but as an actress. Her 2002 role as Mrs. Robinson in The Graduate on Broadway was a bold reinvention. Critics praised her poise and natural stage presence, noting she had transformed from beauty icon to real performer. The production ran for months in London and New York, selling out and restoring her artistic reputation. Her success on stage opened new doors. She appeared in television programs and documentaries and became a guest mentor on Britain's Next Top Model in 2005, guiding young women to pursue independence over fame. In 2010, she published Jerry Hall: My Life in Pictures, a memoir tracing her path from a Texas girl to a Paris supermodel and single mother. The book became a favorite in fashion circles for its honesty and insight into a generation of models. Jerry reflected that every crack in the heart teaches us how to stand firm. With her career renewed, she devoted herself to social causes. From 2006, she became an advocate for Refuge, a UK charity, supporting women affected by domestic violence. She worked on campaigns and fundraising events to strengthen legal protection for women and children. She also joined Children in Crisis, helping build schools for girls in Africa and South Asia, and later supported Fashion Target's breast cancer, combining fashion and health awareness. Her dedication reshaped her public image from celebrity to humanitarian. In her 50s, Jerry's elegance remained undimmed. Designers such as Vivienne Westwood and Yves Saint Laurent invited her to appear in campaigns celebrating timeless beauty. Her presence symbolized confidence and endurance beyond youth. She also joined the board of the National Youth Theatre, supporting training for young actors, and collaborated with Greenpeace UK to protect marine life, a cause close to her Texas roots. Colleagues described her as professional, punctual, and focused nothing like the glamorous image of her past. A new turn came in 2015 when she met media magnate Rupert Murdoch through friends in Los Angeles. Both had endured public marriages and valued stability. Their wedding in March 2016 at St. Bride's Church, London, gathered family and media figures alike. Afterward, Jerry reduced her artistic work, accompanying her husband at business events while maintaining a modest lifestyle. She was often seen walking her dog in London, a quiet contrast to her former fame. Their marriage ended in 2022 after 6 years. The separation was amicable, and Jerry received a generous settlement. She stated she wanted a calm life with her grandchildren and unfinished books. Returning to philanthropy, she joined the Women for Change campaign in 2023, helping middle-aged women rebuild their careers, and appeared at the British Heart Foundation Gala 2024 supporting cardiac research in memory of her mother. By 2025, near 70, Jerry remained active in London's cultural scene. She served as honorary ambassador for Refuge UK and worked with the Royal Academy of Arts on the Icons of the 70s exhibition, featuring rare photographs from her modeling years. In recent interviews, she said she had found true peace in simplicity, family, and quiet reflection. While Jerry Hall embraced calm and purpose, Mick Jagger continued his endless pursuit of music, the stage, and the thrill of performance. The untiring legend. Right after the divorce, Mick returned to the Rolling Stones with the No Security Tour, traveling across North America and Europe, and earning tens of millions of USD. In middle age, he still exploded with energy, moving restlessly on stage, dancing, singing, and proving that rock and time could coexist. Through the 2000s, Mick strengthened his place in music history. The Rolling Stones released albums such as A Bigger Bang, hailed as a comeback for the veteran band. Tours continued in sequence: Licks Tour, A Bigger Bang Tour, and No Filter Tour, lasting until 2021. Over 50 years after its founding, the Rolling Stones stood firm, with Mick as their driving force, the keeper of their fire. Beyond music, Mick expanded into film production. He founded Jagged Films and produced projects like Enigma and Get On Up, the biopic of James Brown. At premieres, he appeared sharp and confident, always the composed performer who knew the art of control. His personal life remained a source of fascination. After parting from Jerry, he was linked to well-known women, including model Loren Scott and ballerina Melanie Hamrick. Loren, his longtime partner, passed away in 2014, leaving him shaken. Later, he met Melanie, a principal dancer at the American Ballet Theatre. Their relationship deepened quickly, and in 2016 she gave birth to Devereaux Octavian Basil Jagger. When Mick was 73, the child became a symbol of his defiance of time. At 81, Mick still performed regularly. Critics called him the immortal man of rock, admired not only for his endurance, but also his unstoppable creativity. In 2023, the Rolling Stones released Hackney Diamonds, their first original album in 18 years. The record featured guests such as Lady Gaga, Paul McCartney, and Stevie Wonder. It debuted at #1 in several countries and earned the band the Grammy Award for Best Rock Album in 2024. Following its success, the band launched the Hackney Diamonds Tour from April 2024 through mid-2025, covering more than 20 cities in the United States, Canada, and Europe. Each show sold out within minutes. Mick remained the center of gravity, running, dancing, and commanding audiences with familiar charisma. The tour brought in hundreds of millions of USD, marking another record for the band that had become a cultural institution. During this time, live recordings from London performances were released as a tribute to British fans who had followed him from small Soho clubs to Wembley Stadium. The collection was praised for its emotional depth and showed that Mick still carried the same rebellious energy that defined his youth. Mick also kept his public image under tight control. He rarely commented on politics or private life and often appeared at art and heritage fundraisers. He supported Music for All, helping underprivileged children study music, and contributed to restoring historic theatres in London. He also supported Save the Children UK, which Jerry Hall once worked with, showing their shared respect for humanitarian causes. Mick's family life reflected his restless nature. He had 8 children, with 5 women all recognized and cared for. Each child, from Jade to Georgia May, found success in music, film, or fashion. Though they lived apart, Mick maintained a strong bond and attended family gatherings. Those close to him described a caring father who could never remain bound to one relationship. Biographers often wondered about his boundless energy. Philip Norman, author of Mick Jagger, Rebel Knight, wrote, "Mick's influence was never harmless. He made the world believe age cannot extinguish the fire of rock." At an age when most artists had retired, Mick still performed 2-hour concerts without backup vocals or screens, driven by instinct and rhythm. For the audience, he was more than a singer. He embodied freedom itself. In a 2023 interview, he said, "Music is the reason I wake up every morning. If I stopped, I might not be myself anymore." Those words summed up his essence, an artist who refused to rest or accept endings. After separating from Jerry Hall, Mick never publicly revisited their story. He avoided mentioning it by name, though traces of memory surfaced in later songs. Ballads such as "Out of Tears" and "Already Over Me" were believed to reflect that final chapter. The gentle tone and melancholy lyrics convinced fans that his love had been real. By 2025, Mick Jagger remained among the world's most enduring performers. The Rolling Stones continued to stand as a pillar of music, and he kept his knighthood with quiet pride. No one else could unite generations under the same song when thousands sang "Satisfaction" and "Angie Time Seemed to Stop." He became not just a legend, but a part of history itself. Two lives took different paths. One sought peace, the other chased eternal light. Jerry Hall found calm in freedom and kindness. Mick Jagger found purpose in rhythm and crowds. Their love ended its echo, still lives in music, fashion, and memory. It stands as a reminder that passion without respect burns bright and fades, and that from its ashes, a person can be reborn. If you want to continue exploring true stories behind music legends, where the stage lights turn off and the real person appears, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications.